So where are you right now?
The redwoods. So the redwoods are the ambassadors of the trees on Earth. And there's only about 4% of the original ones left. And these are them. Being here in the redwoods is such a calm and slow energy. And it's very masculine. And so my usual personality can't come through because it's the opposite of my giddy fairy spirit, which is really great. And it feels very similar to the Syrian energy when I was swimming with the dolphins and the whales in Hawaii, particularly the whale energy. It's that like oversoul energy that's huge and infinite. It just is stable and infinite. And being here in the redwoods, they're the tallest trees in the world, and they just are direct antennas to source, bringing that frequency on Earth, and simultaneously just like sow earth into the ground. So you're getting this high frequency and this strong, straight stability. And it's really amazing.
Let me ask you, what are you, for people that might want to come visit the redwoods, what techniques have you been using to connect in with the energy of the trees and of the land?
The technique that Bashar had shared somewhere hidden in one of the videos was to breathe really deeply in and out, and as you release your carbon dioxide, as you release your spirit, the trees can then release more oxygen, and in the oxygen is a direct transmission of their frequency. And so it's this interplay of communication, of this telepathic communication that comes through the breath. And that's been pretty amazing. But I get really high really quickly. Well, wait a second.
What?
It's you in there.
Oh, is it going?
Yeah.
Is it rolling?
Yep.
The cool thing about these trees that this was making me think about was that like in the alchemical process of purification, whether it be, you know, the calcination step or whatnot, it burns off what's unneeded and then helps it to, which helps you to grow even more. So that's kind of like, this is like the next stage of tree. It's like maybe a more advanced tree, because it's gone through that process where maybe if it wasn't so strong, it would have potentially, you know, burnt down or not been able to withstand the fire. But then after it does withstand it, it goes even further. If you've ever seen any of those Kirlian photography pictures of plants when they've lost like a limb of the plant, you can see that the etheric body of the plant still exists. And so when you stand inside one of these, the etheric body of this tree is penetrating my entire body right now. So all the energy of the tree's spirit is still in this growth process that's fluxing upwards. So it's a rare experience because you can actually get inside the tree's spirit, literally. And so it's like a vortex, but of a living being. And it's pretty awesome.
I mean, I love trees. I love trees. And there's something about these redwoods that are hyper etheric because they're so tall and they're bringing down this frequency. So even though a lot of them are really wide, like you can see behind me, of course not as wide as the sequoias, but they're really trippy, etheric, and I think part of it is because it's a vibrant living forest as well. All of this is like falling and regenerating, and it's this moving forest. And when you're in a truly alive forest, just like in the rainforest in Hawaii, there's a lot more life and there's a lot more ormus and there's a lot more oxygen in the air, and the plants give off a higher frequency because of that. And in a lot of the forests that we're in today, there's a lot of people around, and so you can't quite tune in and zone in. And also, a lot of the trees have been cut down in those forests, and it's not quite as alive, and the cycle of life isn't flowing as smoothly as it normally would. And so here, it has a prehistoric energy to it. It's got this really ancient energy, and yet it's super vibrant and alive with trees falling and new growth. And so I think that energy makes it much more alive just inherently in the spirit of the forest.
I was just telling Bridget, now as I'm getting more experience inside these trees, becoming more and more of an advocate for this unique experience. Because the way trees grow is the water that the roots pull in, the ormus or levitational qualities of ormus in the water, which is basically the etheric light within the water, wants to reach and commune with the sun, and that's what levitates through the trunk of the tree up towards the sun to make the tree grow. And so when you're inside this, since the etheric body of the tree still exists, that levitational etheric energy of rising is still existent. And I can't really think of any other experiences that you could really have where you could put yourself in a field so unique to this. Except
for redwoods.
Well, right,
redwoods are really the only tree. I mean, maybe there's a few other trees that could do this. I don't know of any others, but this is the one tree that has this capacity as like a higher dimensional being.
It's a really unique tree too, because I mean they just skyrocket straight up. So if you were to imagine, I mean, they're not really messing around. They're not like, you know, bending different directions. They're not like, maybe this way, that way. They're like, I'm going straight to source. And that's a pretty good frequency to learn or become in touch with. And ones that spire upwards like this, with that up and down energy, seem to me to be pretty yang. You know, very explosive, very...
Yeah, I've definitely felt a masculine energy. I'm not feeling any feminine when I'm with these trees, personally.
It's the element of connection with nature that gives you that feminine feel with it, because it is kind of cooling in this forest, you know?
Yeah.
But
and all the forest life.
Like, go forth, kind of, you know, spring-like energy in the tree.
Well, and I think that the balance to it as well is, I was reading that redwoods can only grow where rivers are and where there's water. And so I think that the river energy, because there's a river just by here, gives that feminine energy as well. Mm-hmm. As well as all this plant life. I was eating the clovers. You see all the little baby clovers? They're so yummy.
Yeah, you can eat these things.
So the ambassadors of the trees want us to do a video for you and show you them and talk about them, to share our experiences so that you can know that frequency when you come visit or tune into it yourself. And there's really nothing to say about it because they're very telepathic and they're very quiet, and we haven't really been talking all day. This is the first time we've been talking. So we're going to give you a sneak peek transmission of the Redwoods, and they already said that they'd come through through the video. So just tune in and take these few minutes to meditate and feel their spirit. The energy comes in through your crown from source, like an antenna, and also simultaneously the Ormus, like Patrick was talking about, comes up, and also through the earth as well. So just get high with the Redwoods. So